Hey, what's up everyone? It's Duskmos, and today we're taking a look at the Habit from Chase Bliss. So the Habit is a pretty wild delay that is definitely more than meets the eye. It's got a really long recording buffer, which really makes it unique. And not only that, but it also has this scan and spread feature that allows you to kind of jump around in time and play back different bits of your recorded audio and experiment with the results. There are also built-in effects or modifiers in 2 banks of 3, and you can route the effect through what's coming in, out, and a feedback loop as well for varying effects. You're also able to freeze loops or set your repeats to infinity. Really cool, really fun way to discover some new kind of rhythmical, recorded, loosely sequenced loops. It's a lot of fun. So right now I have track 1 coming out of the Analog 4 Mark II from Elektron going into the Habit and then back out into the Analog 4 again, and then that stereo mix coming out to the TX6 from Teenage Engineering out to my camera. The Analog 4 Mark II is really fun to use with pedals because each track has its own individual output that you can run to different devices, and then there are 2 inputs that allow you to return that audio back. So it's really cool to kind of just inject something into the mix. So because this is a Signal Colors primer, I'm just going to be noodling around, kind of talking about the feature, showing off a little bit what it can do, but not going crazy in depth. There's definitely a manual that would be great to read. I'll link to that in the description as well. But yeah, we're going to take a look and check out what this thing can do. So as always, I like to start with my clean sounds, which I have this sort of muffled, dusty kick that is going to act as just a timekeeping background loop. And then this is what my synth tone sounds like. Obviously a little dry on purpose. So I'll go ahead and activate the Habit. And remember, it's only going to interact with the synth line, not going to do anything with the kick, so we can kind of keep that out of the mix. So you can see already it's set up just like a kind of more traditional delay right now. No modifiers, no spread, no scan. Size acts as a time knob. And you see when you move it, you kind of either can inject silence or just kind of manipulate the length of whatever your recording was. So this is crazy because you can actually set it up to 60 seconds, so a whole minute later. So this knob is a crazy range. It also can record up to 3 minutes in a certain mode called collector mode that basically allows you to just write over a 3-minute loop. And here, if you set repeats to infinity, like I just did, it'll trap whatever is in that buffer and loop it, but it'll also allow you to write on top of it. And there you see I moved the size knob and I wrote some silence in there. And now you can shorten it. All the way down to just a little blip. Which is pretty fun. You can obviously bypass, and then when you re-engage, if you had it set to, I don't know, if you ever have any kind of audio that's still in the buffer, you can press and hold these 2, and it does this little erase move, and then you're all good to go with fresh content. So that's always cool. Obviously, level is a mix knob. and then modify controls your modify amount. So I'm going to turn on the little, just this little loop I have recorded. This is what it sounds like clean. Very basic, but I wanted a lot of space between the notes so we can hear what the habit's doing. I'm going to turn on spread, which is basically a second recording head. And already we've got something kind of interesting happening. But let's turn on some modifiers. So we've got off is in the middle, A bank, B bank on left and right. So we'll go to A bank. It's a pitch mod. You can see it's also speed, reverse, left of 12. And remember, because this is, it's can always recording style. So if I play another note, it finds its way in there. Although now I realize because the speed is all sped up, it's going to sound higher pitched, so you won't really notice those notes going in as much. Now what's interesting is scan, since it allows you to kind of move around in time. You turn that up, and it'll play snippets from other moments in history. So what I like doing, it's pretty cool with that, is to actually play different sounds and just kind of inject them in there and see where that goes. So let's see. Change up my sound. So I can freeze that bass loop. It's actually just building on top of itself because I'm still playing that track. So I could mute that on the synth and now freeze, and it won't continue building like that. I'm gonna switch the modifier. Oh, we got that bass note in there. Okay, I'm gonna switch the modifier now. This one's like kind of a tape style. You really can obviously hear that. All right, I'm gonna let this fade out because I'm not feeling it anymore. I got a little too crazy with it. But let's turn on, actually I'm gonna bypass. We'll find another sound now. That works for me. A little bit more of a sustained note, but let's see how that does. You could lower the level, and you just have this nice little background texture going. Pretty cool. Just to the third mode. kind of like a granular time stretch kind of thing. Freezing that one. Okay, I'm gonna turn the loop back on. We move to bank B now. It was like a smooth pitch kind of thing. Slow the tempo down. I'm gonna mute the input loop. Oh, I didn't have it frozen, so it's not gonna stick in there. So let's try this again. You can also truly freeze the loop if you just hold down the foot switch. Muted the synth track. So you can tempo sync with tap tempo, but I've noticed it seems to only work if it's faster than what is currently being displayed. So if I try to do a slow tempo, oh, it actually worked. If you let go, then it will fade away. So I'm going to turn on that synth track again. So you can input the tap tempo by tapping it twice. Trying to match it there a little better. So I'm gonna freeze the input there. Stop the track. Or not really freeze, but, you know, make it infinite looping. Upping the scan to go back in time a little bit. So it's kind of stacking up a little bit. And you back off the infinite maxed out level and you get a nice fadeaway. Alright, I'm gonna unmute this first track again. Change the sound again, though. So we're still scanning back and getting some of that old sound. Turn that down. Move into the second B modifier. What you can hear is like a high pass, low pass. I'm going to switch the routing to feedback mode, and things can get pretty crazy here if you're not careful. Maybe not on this mode, but I've seen it get pretty wild. The third mode on B is the dropper effect. So you either get sort of rhythmic cutouts or random ones. Change up the filter on the synth sound. I'm just going to noodle on top and we'll kind of hear how the habit reacts. Freezing that. Again, muting the input. Bringing the input back. Switch the routing to in now. pretty crazy stuff. It's kind of like mystery bass going on. Muting the input again. Set the repeats to infinite. Back it off. Reintroduce. I've never done that before. Kind of cool. And back to nothing. So there we go. That's a little taste of the Habit. It's pretty wild. Lots of that cool micro looping, glitching, delay type stuff. Yeah, I feel like I see some similarities with little bits of the mood, for example, and maybe a little bit of the blooper. And yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of that flavor, but it's cool having the 6 modifiers and obviously manipulating like the scan and spread. That's just a really cool feature that makes Habit really unique. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.